Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Neon Souls. Thank you for joining us here on this lovely Friday evening. I hope everyone had an amazing week. Mine was exhausting, but I am ready to get going and kick off the weekend with a brand new Cypher game. So let's go ahead and go through our announcements, and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, and we'll get started. So if you just watched our promo video, which we run at the start of every game, you can see all the wonderful shows that we have here on GGK. If you're interested in watching some of those, check out our full schedule below our faces if you're watching us live on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube at some point in the future, head over our Twitch page. Give us a follow while you're there, and you can see everything that we've got going on right now. Our next show after this one, if you're watching us live, is going to be tomorrow. That's Saturday. We're going to be playing Star Power, which is an overarms game that I also run, and Savannah and Sid are there as well. And it's some sort of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Shaman King style fun. So come join us for that at 7 o'clock Eastern time, because I don't think I said the time yet. Otherwise, I think next week is going to be our schedule as normal. I don't think we have any changes that I'm aware of right now. So you can follow along our schedule and see what else we've got going on. I think that's about it as far as I don't have any other announcements channel side. So I'm going to kick it over to my players to introduce themselves and talk about what they've got going on in their lives and who they're playing here tonight. Starting with Savannah Morgan.
I'm Morgan, also known as Imagine Matrix. I do cosplay on the internet all the time, so you can check me out there. Tonight, I am playing Clarity, who is a creative hacker who works the system with technology.
Now it's my turn. Hello, I'm Savvy, Matt Savvy Seaworth on the internets. You can find me here pretty much whenever this channel is live. You can also find me starting this week on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/lbhack'emup playing Dungeons & Dragons, and on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Colonomicon playing Monster of the Week. But tonight I am playing Choke, the hardy merc who looks for trouble.
And hello, my name is Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. I'm on Star Power tomorrow, and on Sunday, I'm here a couple nights a week. It's good times. We love us some GGK. This evening, I will be playing Impulse. Impulse is a charming hustler who leads you straight into apparently a big old factory that we're about to blow up.
For some reason, Sid, the music's coming through your microphone.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. I was like, is that on my end?
Do you have voice mod on now? Because now you sound like a robot, Val.
I might. I was testing around some
Hey,
stuff.
can y'all chill?
There are no rules. Hey everyone. While Sid figures that out, I am Val at the Kraken's Ground on Twitter and Twitch. You can catch me here whenever we go live, either playing or running the game. And today I am Val, a flexible GM who tolerates with a creative flavor and loves hoodies. And let's get started, guys. So last time on Neon Souls, your crew had is sort of making moves with the overall goal of getting back home. You've been stuck here in New London after being sort of exiled from San Angeles through some corporate bullshit. You've kind of adapted to your new lives here, trying to find a place for yourself within this society, and once again have gotten embroiled in political maneuverings and some criminal activity. You have been sort of contracted loosely by a group called the Workforce Restructuring Movement, also called the Worms, or the WRM. They are a sort of politically motivated group dedicated to bringing down Lunatech, the megacorp that runs New London, and sort of returning it to the people. You have aligned yourself with their goals, and they have asked you to aid them in a number of, we'll call them steps in their overall goal, tasks and steps to take down Lunatech. You decided to start with disrupting the VAT clone creation or production side of the Lunatech's business. A kind of unsettling part of life in New London is they have these clones that they use to do most of their work that would be either too dangerous or too costly to use to employ people to do, or at least in Lunatech's eyes. You decided to hit them where it hurts by taking out one of their clone plants, the facility responsible for the research and creation of these VAT clones. And you did that by seducing a doctor of Lunatech, one Dr. Weir Graves, through a unsettling series of events at a BDSM VR club. You took them home. You then tied them up and sort of got the information that you needed from them through a little bit of subterfuge and some light bondage. You then left them to their devices there and made your attack on this development facility. You focused on the research side, this executive office, where you knew that this sort of was like the brainstem of this this manufacturing plant, by disrupting or hacking into their I think, who was it that went inside? Choke went inside, pretending to be Dr. Graves themselves, was given a little bit of a tour and then left to their own devices, ended up using some clarity skills to hack into the computer system that controls it, putting everything out of whack, overloading the systems, and hopefully disrupting clone manufacturing for some time. You also found a couple of other things while you were there, including the replicant development office, where you stole some redacted government documents. It seems like the LSF is actually using these androids to infiltrate different areas of potentially, or you assumed, the WRM. You stole those documents, haven't had a lot of time to look them over yet. And then you also found their xenoparasite development and cloning division, finding this, some might call it cute, little alien that they had created using genetic material they had harvested from a nearby colony. And you decided to let this creature loose as the LSF seemed to catch wind of what was going on here, of this operation. They stormed the building. You let the creature loose. It attacked some LSF officers while Choke made her escape in the car that Clarity and Impulse were currently waiting in. And that is where we're picking up here today, because you have just left the LSF office. You can see the transport shuttle that has sort of hovered down, is currently hovering over the Lunatech research station. There are, it seems like a lot of police activity in this sector, but you have been able to escape without raising any immediate alarms. So I think right now it is Choke, probably a very unsettled Choke in the back of the car, while or it's a big open kind of luxury sedan, and Clarity and Impulse here there as well. What would you like to do?
So how'd it go?
Pretty good, I think.
Do
Did you have
we?
fun?
I mean, that's
Yeah,
important.
actually I did.
Nice.
Good. Do we need to get the fuck out of here, or?
Oh, yeah, we should go.
Okay.
We should have already been sorry, I thought that part was clear when I came sort of running frantically out of the building.
Right. No, fair. That's very fair. That should have been a good indication. Okay.
Next time we'll just say it. So yeah, we should go.
So you are currently in what's it? Hold on. Let me at my notes here. You're
We
currently
stole his car,
in
didn't we?
G-Sphere.
We stole their car?
Yeah. You stole their car. So you have this car now. And we're
so much.
dealing with that. So you have this fancy vehicle you stole from the doctor. You're currently in G-Sphere. Are you guys heading back to I-Sphere to go back to your home? Or is there somewhere else you'd like to go?
We should probably not go directly back just in case they're tracking the car.
Is there like a safe house spot we could go to that we know of?
Yeah, there was a safe house not too far from the Lunatech research base that you initially met Bones at. So you could go there. That's only like one sector over from where you're currently at. Okay, so you set the coordinates for that location and head back to the safe house. When you arrive, I think Bones is probably already there, having done their job and then gotten out of the facility as quickly as possible. They were probably gone before the LSF actually arrived. So Bones is currently waiting in the little kitchenette area at the safe house, kind of anxiously bouncing one of their legs as they're sitting at the table. And as the three of you come in, sort of jump a little bit and then immediately settle as they realize who you are. You do see they have like a blaster pistol like sitting on the table that they're just in case. And as you arrive, they go, "Oh, you're here. I honestly, I didn't know if you made it out all right."
I mean, we're kind of good at this, so.
Yeah, we're fairly decent at our jobs.
I mean, I would say we're really good at it.
Yeah. I mean, we've been literally banned from an entire planet at this point, but I mean, that's just a technicality. I mean, we're working on it.
It only happened because we were really good at what we did.
That's true. People were super jealous.
Right. Well, you should have seen the mess inside of the warehouse. It was, y'all did a number on that place before I got out of there. I imagine this could take them time to clean that all up.
I should hope so.
I don't know if y'all have any other orders. I'm supposed to wait here for my next assignment. But you're as far as I know, free to use the the safe house too if you need to lie low until that stuff clears out.
So you'll be here for a while, Bones?
At least until I get my next assignment. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Right. Is it? I'm
Oh, of
confused.
course. I'm gonna get a drink. Anyone want? Right. Bones?
Sure. Yeah, there's whiskey in the cabinet up there, and then I think there's some beer in the fridge.
Great. She'll get drinks.
Okay. It's not great, but it's passable. Anything you guys want to do while you are chilling in the safe house?
We want to take a
Mercilessly
water
hit
break.
on Bones.
Oh God, that was
A
so
what?
much. Water break. Water break.
Does champagne count as water? Because I don't have any with me right now.
Only if it's from the water region of France.
Yes, in fact. So, hey. Sorry, I'll get water in a second.
We get 2 XP.
Oh yeah. You get to experience the session.
Okay,
I
just
normally say that before we go on air, but I forgot today. You do have the research document that you pulled from the database,
I want to look through that.
which I will show to you right now. I'll make it public, and then I'll show to the party.
Ooh.
Oh. Ooh.
Hopefully you could read it. It turned out a little blurry.
If
The
you,
upload.
when it comes up in the boxes, if you double click on it, it'll make it bigger and it's clear. I had to do this for Land of Beam. But it'll knock all the video windows to the bottom and it'll blow it up.
So for the people at home, the document is you pulled other things too, but this is the like most important one, or the one that draws your attention the most. It's a Lunatech Development Office classified report. And it goes through, a lot of it's been redacted, 90% of it's been redacted, but there's some interesting information on there that you might be able to use.
Oh boy. So they're calling the little wiggly alien things Viper then?
No. So this was pulled from the replicant research area station. So this would all relate to that. I don't believe you guys had the opportunity to really pull a lot of information on the xenoparasites.
Yeah, I think we mostly just wiped that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we pulled that, but Dr. Han was in charge of the replicants. And yes, we suspect that someone within Worm is probably a replicant then and might not even know it. Ayo.
So
I take notes.
am I looking at this and sharing it with everyone?
Unless you would like not to.
I would like to share it with everyone. I mean, there's something here about, like, violent behavior possibly being triggered by exposure to hypersonic frequencies. We want to try and, like, figure out if there is a replicant in Worm. Like, we can just run a hypersonic frequency around whoever we meet that works for Worm, and then kind of
see if they try to kill us.
Yeah, or just get really aggressive.
That was better than my idea.
What was your idea?
Something similar, but have you seen The Thing? the movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Where they
Oh
take all
yeah,
the-
yeah. And like if you actually had like a translator or something, you would have known the film in the first like 10 minutes. So funny. Yeah. What about it?
Where they have to figure out who's got the thing in them, so they take all their blood and then they electrocute it. I was just gonna say we zap everybody to see if that would work. But this is better.
I feel like if we said we zap everyone, that would include us.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be zapped.
I think
Yeah.
right.
No, this is a lot better of a plan.
Yeah.
Do you think any of us are replicants?
We can test it.
We should.
We probably should do that. I mean, just in case, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I have memories, like, mostly good, but some really shitty ones.
I mean, how
So
would you
just in
know if they
case.
weren't real, though?
True.
I mean, even if you guys are replicants, like you're my friend, you could be my friend and a replicant, right?
I didn't see why not. I mean, unless we're all replicants and, like, all of our shared memories are fake. I mean, we do have, like, history, right? I mean, we're still friends.
Do we have anything that will set off a hypersonic
Frequency.
frequency?
I don't know what that is, so
I was
I'm
assuming
not sure.
like a bad sound.
A bat?
Bad. Like a bad sound.
Oh. I thought you meant bat, like that with the wings and like it. I
know
don't know.
what a bat is.
No, that's what I thought you'd said, and they make sounds that some people can hear and some can't, and I'm just gonna. I'll be over here if you need anything, and she'll go around and like sit on the arm of whatever couch that Bones is sitting on and flirt outrageously.
Okay. So as far as any technology you guys have, unless you have something that I'm not aware of, I don't believe that you have anything that would be able to produce a sound effect like this. You may be able to alter some like basic like stereo equipment or something to make sound similar, but typically this is like ultrasound frequencies, like frequencies beyond what most people can hear. So you could probably put something together fairly easily for that. You just need to get the equipment for it.
Cool. Is there any like old radios or any like junk just like in the safe house or
In the safe house? Yeah, I'll say there's a radio on the table in the kitchen.
Okay. Clary's just gonna start taking it apart and messing with it.
Okay. Do you have a tech skill for like building stuff?
I have. I mean, this isn't a computer.
Yeah, I don't think this would be in computer programming.
I have problem solving or puzzle solving.
You do have that. I'll allow the puzzle solving for this. I think the difficulty I'm gonna set for this task is gonna be at a. I don't think this is that hard. I'm gonna say it's a demanding task, so it's a 3. Your training will reduce it to a 2.
Okay. I don't think I have any assets or anything that helps with this.
I mean, if you wanted to steal me away from Bones, I could give you a pep talk while you are doing this. But right now, I think I'm more giving Bones a pep talk at the moment.
Trying to. Okay, I think I'll just roll. It's fine. An 8.
8. That will succeed. So you take a little bit of time, probably the next like hour or so, to modify this radio. It's no longer going to function as a radio, but you're able to sort of ramp up its output to create the frequencies that you would need. It's probably not going to last a long time. If you're going to be doing this to a lot of people, you're probably going to need a device that's more. This will eventually like burn out the radio, but you could probably get a couple of uses out of this before it falls apart.
Well, I turn it on.
Okay. Turn it on, and God, I don't know if any of you would have good enough hearing to pick. I'd definitely not choke with the amount of explosions that she's heard.
It's a wonder I can hear anybody talking at this point.
Oh no.
I'll say maybe Clarity and Impulse. The two of you just get like this slight kind of ringing, like you can barely hear it from it's just enough to be like unsettling coming from the radio. Choke, you can't hear it at all.
I don't hear anything.
It's just like, it's like when they put like infrasound in like movies and things, like you don't really notice it until it like stops, and then you're like, oh, that was so annoying. It's just,
Yeah, I don't notice that at all.
Hey, Bones,
right.
do you
Tinnitus.
feel like punching anything?
do you?
Who's been sitting on the couch next to Impulse and looks. I mean, it is under the impulse effect right now of just being slightly uncomfortable, but not enjoying themselves.
Do you feel violent?
No, not particularly.
Okay, I turn it off.
Probably for the best.
Why?
Oh, we were checking to see if you were like an imposter type person. I mean, maybe replicants shouldn't be called imposter type persons. Maybe that's offensive. I mean, maybe replicants want rights and stuff, but like, I don't know.
Just say
we
replicants.
we were just checking if
Replicant.
you were a replicant.
Right.
To be fair,
I
we were
don't
also
think-
checking if we were too, so it wasn't just you, darling. You're good.
Great. So none of us are. You said replicants?
Yeah.
Right. Is that something we need to be worried about?
Maybe. Possibly.
Something that we shouldn't not be worried about, if that makes sense.
So we should be worried about it.
But now we know how to check.
Yeah. So we can be slightly less worried about it? Yeah.
All right, good. Now I'm worried about it.
Oh, no. Shh. It's okay.
All right. Who'd you call? Oh, Choke. Choke, you get a call coming in on your communicator.
Yo,
Hey, it's Lynn. How's it going?
good. We're done.
Or Yule, not Lynn. God, I keep getting those names confused in my head.
I recognized your voice.
Right.
Good. We're done. We're with Bones.
All right. You finished the job?
Oh yeah, spectacularly.
Okay. I'm assuming that's what I'm picking up on the news feed here. Then you attack a lunatic research complex.
Oh, attack is a strong word.
They're calling it an attack.
Well, I mean, something attacked them. It wasn't me. This time.
Good. Well, that's good to hear. Apparently, things are pretty hot in your location right now. So, if you're coming back to the loft, you just be careful.
Shall we lay low for a while?
Maybe for a bit, but we got work to do, and we got to move on this some of our other projects before this gets well, before they get that back up and running.
Okay. I say we'll hang out here till tonight. Till the search starts winding down. We'll come back.
All right. We'll see you back here.
Okay.
And she hangs up.
Should we ditch the car?
It's such a nice car.
It really is, and I kind of made it so it's not really traceable, so...
It's really nice.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Can we do the paint job thing? Like, make it not as recognizable.
What color?
What color is it right now?
You have, like, that chrome that goes from, like, teal to purple.
Oh.
I don't think I said it. I gave it a color last time, so I'm going to say it's black.
I mean, I think it's already pretty inconspicuous.
It has all those custom mods to it. Like,
Yeah, most of them are inside though, right?
fair. All right. I was thinking just make it the exact opposite of whatever it was originally.
But that would be white, and I don't want a white car.
Yeah, no,
It's so
white
dirty.
car. Yeah, no. What about red?
That's too conspicuous, I think.
Well,
Right, I think it actually brings up your insurance rates too.
conspicuously inconspicuous though.
Are we
If they're looking
paying-
for a black car, not gonna pull anybody over in a red one.
Are we paying insurance on our stolen car?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's fun. You're funny.
I think we could do red.
I would love red. I mean, obviously.
Okay, so we're just hanging out here tonight?
Just until tonight. You'll want us to come back to the loft once the heat has cooled down a little bit.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. What are you all doing?
Wait, what are you doing?
I thought you would have guessed by now. She goes to sit by Bones.
Okay. I don't know, Claire, what are we doing?
We're playing Battleship on our data pads.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
So the two of you are playing Battleship here data pads. At some point, Impulse and Bones disappear to one of the back rooms of the safe house.
I know what she meant.
And we can skip to nightfall unless you guys want to chat about anything before then. No? Okay. So you spend the next 5 or 6 hours just kind of hanging out at the safe house. Eventually, after they emerge, Bones does get a call on their communicator and says, "All right, I got my next assignment from Lynn, so I gotta head out. It was good working with y'all, and well, I guess good luck."
You too.
Right. And kind of gives an awkward smile and blushes as they leave.
Sweetheart.
So I think you're cheating.
What?
There is no way you would have beat me this many times in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I don't cheat. I just use strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Does
The
that
strategy
strategy
is-
involve cheating?
The strategy is that she's hacked into your data pad, so she knows all of the moves milliseconds before you
This is why
put them through.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to play a board game. like on an actual board.
Well, we have played this on a board game before, and you also accused me of cheating.
I know
so...
because I think you're cheating.
Did Clarity figure out how to hack the game to stack all of her ships on top of each other in the corner of the board?
Probably.
Let me see that.
Well, it's my data pad.
Give it to me.
Fine. Okay, here we go. I think it's a valid move.
It's not. You can't just stack all the boats on top of each other. It's fundamentally not how the board works.
But I did it, so it works.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you should.
Okay, and next time we play, I won't do that.
No, we're not playing Battleship anymore.
Not even like one more time?
No.
Can we play Pac-Man?
Okay.
Later. I think we're done here.
Yeah, we should probably go.
All right. You head out to the car. It's parked out back, and were you raising a hand?
Yes.
Or... Okay.
Sorry, we have a chat redemption. I didn't want it to get lost.
Oh.
For a loot drop.
All right. What's the? I forgot what we made the loot drops in this one. Is it a cipher? Is that what
I think
they
it's a
are
cipher.
now?
It is a Euro rolling for a random manifest cipher.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
Okay.
A mecha spider.
We haven't had one
Thank
of
you,
these
Mecha.
since we switched systems, so
Nope.
I'm pulling it up. Can I get one of you to roll a D100?
You got it, Sabby?
Yes. Go. 38.
38. Don't know what this one is. Okay. Can I get someone else to roll a D6?
Four.
All right. How does this come about? Okay, you're packing up to go, and I think you're just taking what you can for yourselves from the safe house as it's being decommissioned at this point. Now that this job is over, and Clarity finds in a one of the cabinets there's some munitions kept in there. One of which is a grenade, but it is a heavily modified it's got like two half spheres on top of each other with this glowing ring around the center, very high tech grenade. Someone can try to identify it if they would like. Do you have the identifying skill? You're muted.
Yes.
You do. Okay. So you rolled a 4. So that is it's going to be a difficulty 6 to identify. If you're trained identification, it brings it down to a 5. Do you want to spend any effort?
Does my asset of a risk computer bring it down at all?
This is a knowledge-based task, so yeah, that'll bring
Okay.
it to a 4.
Okay. And then I guess I'll spend some effort.
Okay. I think you have a 2 edge, so you can spend 1 level of effort for just 1 point. So that brings it to a 3.
We'll try with that then.
All right. Just need to roll a 9 or higher.
An 11.
All right, you got it. This is so the cipher that you guys rolled is a, well, this is a spawn grenade. Basically, the way that works is you project a small physical explosion up to a long distance away that bursts in immediate radius, blinding all within it for 1 minute and inflicting damage equal to the cipher's level, which in this case is a 6. The burst spawns 1d6 additional detonations. In the next round, each additional detonation flies off at a random spot within a short range and explodes in the immediate radius. And then when we use this, you'll also roll a d100 to determine what kind of damage it's going to do. It can be like fire or heat, or like heat drain, which would be cold, or corrosive, or an electrical discharge. It's all sorts of fun things that
Chaos
can happen.
grenade.
It's a chaos grenade, yeah.
I mean, I feel I have done a very excellent job of keeping track of the grenades at my disposal so far. But I mean,
have never seen you throw a grenade.
I haven't had to yet. But that doesn't mean that I am not fully capable of keeping track of them and knowing the appropriate time to throw one at maximum capacity.
If you can look at that and tell me how you would arm it before you throw it, then you can hold on to it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. So first, you would hold it, right? So you just want to get the feel of the appropriate weight, right? Otherwise, if you don't have the correct balance, you're not going to get the appropriate distance.
Okay,
on
it's a
throw.
grenade, not a sword.
Right, of course. Come on,
Doesn't
I'm
have
just
balance.
trying to be thorough here. And then, can I look at the save here? How the fuck I would arm it?
You could make a identification check, or do you have any sort of knowledge-based task? So it's a difficulty
No.
6. So
Okay,
you have to roll
great.
an 18 or higher.
Okay, great, cool. Let's do this.
I'll die if you succeed on this.
This would
roll.
be
The funniest thing in the universe.
hilarious. Hilarious if I succeeded at this. No, 11.
You have no idea.
So you would then, so you see this little groove here, right? So you would put a little bit of pressure there, and then, just one second. Then, so you would take this little piece. No, I haven't fully seen one of these before, so just give me a second.
I'm gonna take it, like turn it 180 degrees. Just imagine there's like a button.
And then you would use the button, of course. I mean, I was getting there. Fine. You can hold on to the grenade. It's fine. Just trying to be helpful.
You can hang on to it.
No. It's fine. I obviously don't have the proper balance.
You can't just keep saying the word balance like it means something.
But it sounds so good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything.
But it sounds nice. Balance. It's nice, right?
Okay, but it's a grenade.
A well-balanced grenade. A well-balanced breakfast. Anything. It sounds great. Well-balanced. Whatever. Take it. It's fine.
I will hold on to the very dangerous grenade.
Okay. So it is, since it is a cipher, I assume you're not at your cipher limit yet?
No, I just have one. My limit's 2, so.
Okay. So yeah, you can hold on this. If you pick up another cipher, you got to get rid of the ones.
Yeah,
that
I
you
just haven't had the opportunity to use a sword.
We'll find
Yet.
one.
We have another chat redemption.
Oh God, is it for another
Or-
loot drop?
No, it is for an intrusion.
Thank you. Chat.
Give the crew an intrusion, an extra chance to influence a story event. Thank you, Captain Nemo.
Thanks, Nemo.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's go. So here's what. I think this is what we'll do then. You guys are.
Text for the description of said dangerous grenade.
Yeah.
Sorry, before we're intruded upon.
Do you? Yeah, I'll just copy and paste it in the Discord.
That's perfect. Thank you.
I can't copy the. Well, actually, I might be able to copy the text of the additional what damage it does. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So you guys are leaving the safe house and you're heading down the alley to where you parked the car. And as you are just about to come out of the alleyway, you hear a noise overhead, like a and some spotlights strafing across the street, as you see an LSF patrol shuttle that is currently slowly gliding over this neighborhood. It kind of comes down and settles at the end of the street, and you see say 6 LSF officers dispatch out of the shuttle along with 2 support drones. They break up into 2 squads of 3 and begin to make their way down the street. As they are doing that, you can see a couple of people walking along this like narrow road. They stop. The support drone kind of glides up to them and does like a scan, and then they let that person pass. So you see one of these squads seems to be heading down the street in your direction. They are sort of between you and where your car is.
So I probably shouldn't go that way.
So are we staying here tonight then? We're just not moving, right?
I mean, you two are fine, I would imagine.
Are they just like looking at people's faces, or are they like scanning them?
They're scanning them.
No, I think we're all fucked.
Can I?
Yeah, you do know.
spend an
Oh no, good.
intrusion?
Yeah, you can.
And how much does it cost again?
It's 1 XP.
1 XP. Because I do have advantageous malfunction.
Okay.
When
What's the
which,
text of that?
A device being used against you malfunctions. It might harm the user or one of their allies for a round, or activate a dramatic and distracting side effect for a few rounds.
Okay. You can do that. I'm gonna say. So, do you think this is Clarity like is going to attempt to like hack using her cybernetics, like hack the drone as it tries to scan her?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's just Choke we need to worry about being scanned, I think, but I don't know.
So you all have credentials that have been forged for you in New London, but those are the database that those pulled from is typically when you're going through like checkpoints to head into other districts of the like if you're heading from G Sphere to I Sphere, when you go through the checkpoints there, they scan your data pads for any sort of for your identification. So it'll automatically pull up the forged document and do it. As far as LSF doing like a full scan,
it's like a bio scan.
Yeah, they may bring up other information on you, or may be able to.
This is a Gattaca moment for those
Yes.
older folks to hear. Yeah. So
Yeah.
This is a cheek swab. This is not pulling up your data pad.
Yeah, I mean, it would pull up any information that the LSF might have on you, on your biometrics.
They do the intrusion 3 times.
They did say
so
for a few rounds, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
and the squad that's coming towards you, they're scanning with the support drone that all like most LSF officers have one that accompanies them. They've got one support drone for the squad that is moving with them, and that drone is what's doing the scans. If that drone malfunctions, then they won't have a means of scanning you. There is another squad that's heading the opposite way down the street, but this is the one that you would have to deal with.
Okay. Yeah, I think Clarity just is like, keep walking, act natural, like, you know, like a normal person would act.
What does a normal person act like?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
So just walk.
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
All right.
I'm walking.
So the three of you are walking together towards the car, deliberately and
But casually.
calmly. Yeah.
As if this does not bother us at all. Whatever that is over there.
As you are heading that direction, there are 2 pedestrians that are getting scanned, and they're given the all clear to move on before the LSF officer that seems to be taking point walks in your direction and holds up a hand for you to stop and says,
"Hold, please."
I should have hotkeyed that because I'm keep having to click. They're wearing there's like full tactical gear, helmets that obscures their faces with this like blue lines that run through them, standard issue LSF equipment, and as they tell you to hold, the drone comes gliding up and says, or the officer says,
"We're doing a sweep of this area. Please stand by for bio read."
Sure.
Worse.
So at this point is when you're spending your intrusion.
Yep.
As the as the drone comes gliding up to you, Clarity, and begins to do its scan, you using your cybernetics, which allowed for some wireless interfacing with devices, you overload the drone's sensors, and as it goes for its first sweep, you see the light kind of like sputter for a second, and the drone kind of stops in the air a bit, and then you see a couple like sparks form, and it go vroom, and just onto the ground. And you see the 3 officers immediately. One of them looks over the drone, kind of like kicks it a little to see if it moves, and it doesn't. And he says,
What's going on?
Budget cuts, am I right?
Hold on a moment.
and you see one of them begin to try to mess with the device and to get it working. They pop open a panel and begin to mess with the wires a bit, while the other officer stands there in front of you. They don't seem to have the intention of letting you go while they're working on it, but they don't have the ability to scan you right now. What do you do?
Listen, we've got somewhere to be.
Right, I understand. We'll have you going in a minute. We have orders.
Yeah, okay, tell that to my boss when I'm late to work.
Yeah, how much longer is this going to take?
Johnson? I don't know, boss. Captain's gonna take a minute. Shit. Piece of junk.
Look, we'd be happy to provide our credentials. It's just, you know, this is kind of for sure right now, friends. Whatever we need to do here, but we can't go.
Right. Fine. Data pads. We'll do a standard ID scan.
Thank you.
As you bring out your data pads and begin to allow them to do their just normal scan. The LSF officers have like personal ID scanners which they use. They run over your data pads, brings up your identification or your credentials, and they look them over. I
I will gladly fast talk if I need to.
No. They'll
Sweet
go
talk the shit out
along.
of them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going along with you in this idea. I'm just debating whether this feels like an intrusion. So I'm gonna offer the intrusion to Choke. You went to that office as yourself. Your ID isn't gonna bring up the information, but does have photo. It does have a photo of you. So if they run that photo through their systems, they're going to be able to, if they have any sort of image of you from the Lunatech base, they're going to be able to confirm that.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Do you want to take the intrusion, or do you want to reject it?
What do I get?
So you get an XP if you take the intrusion. Obviously, something bad's going to happen.
Do like XP.
Or you can spend an XP to reject the intrusion.
I mean, I think it's more fun if I let it happen.
Okay. Then
I'm gonna trust these two to pretend like they don't know me.
The good thing is that with Clarity's intrusion, they're not actually able to scan any the rest of you. So we'll see how this turns out or what you guys want to do here. But they scan the first 2 data pads and they bring up Chokes, and as soon as they bring up theirs, there's like a moment where your ID comes up, and then you can see this like red kind of warning flash for a second, and the officer immediately kind of freezes and brings up their weapon. And says,
You, on the ground, now.
Why?
Whoa.
You're under arrest for suspected terrorist activities. On the ground, now, hands on your head.
Well, hold on a second.
On the ground, now.
Fine.
What is happening right now?
Yeah, I feel like I at least have a right to know.
You've been flagged in our system for potential activity in an attack tonight. We're gonna have to take you downtown.
Flagged in the system where that is supposed to be
probably active, pointing at like the fucked up droid.
It's fine.
Hey,
It's fine.
No, it is not fine. I'm sorry. They're obviously dealing with budget cuts, as you mentioned, and a particularly faulty system. This is absurd.
why don't you go ahead and roll then?
Can I roll my Karen move? I'm gonna go full
What is
I would like
your-
to speak to your supervisor, please.
What is your move, by the way?
I mean, I have several. Let's see. I could do fast talk. I could do. I haven't done this yet, and this could be fun. So I could do impart ideal, which is after interacting for at least a minute with a creature that can hear and understand you. You can attempt to temporarily impart an ideal that you cannot otherwise convince it to adopt. So, I mean, we could kind of tool that to be like, yeah, you're right. Damn it. They don't give us enough money for this shit. Like, we don't even give like proper equipment. Like, you know, we're not supported at all. And you know, make them kind of think that the system's fucked, and yeah. It could be fun.
Okay.
Believe that their technology is fucked up right now.
So you just have to spend a minute speaking with them, and do you spend points for that, or is it
It
something
would
you
be
do for free?
3 intellect, but with my what's it called?
Your edge.
With my edge, since I have 2 edge in intellect stuff, it would be.
You only have to spend 1.
I spend 1. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to use it yet.
No, that's good.
More for like radicalizing people, but I feel like this is appropriate use as well.
I will allow it because you haven't been overtly aggressive or or hostile towards them yet.
Sorry, are we boring you?
Yeah, sorry.
No. The officer thinks for a moment and looks down as Officer Johnson, as he's named him, is trying to work on the device there, and he looks back and forth for a moment and chokes credentials and sighs, says,
Piece of shit, malfunctioning.
Look, we're
I'm
not
gonna log-
blaming you for this, really. Like, we totally understand. This is not your fault. You're doing your job. But, I mean, that's just not okay that they're expecting you to come out here into the hard, cold streets and not equipping you properly, right?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna log you in our system. And
Do what you need to do.
you can see he hits a few buttons and on his device and pauses for a moment and says,
all right. 3 of you can go.
Thank you so much. What was your name, officer?
Harrison.
Harrison. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And you know what? Keep doing what you do. You're keeping us all safe. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no hard feelings.
Right. Move on.
Thank you. Good night.
as you move along to the car, though, you catch a little bit of the conversation, and he turns back to Officer Johnson and says,
Johnson, you have that up and running yet? Johnson?
and you see the officer that was working on the device kind of stops for a moment, and you hear them let out a cry of pain as they fall back onto the street and just sort of begin to roll back and forth as they are clutching their side. And they seem to be in a lot of pain right now.
Johnson! What's going on?
Let's go.
Run biometrics on him. Get the other squad back here now!
And you see them come up, and you hear some conversation between them as the other team comes down the street and says, and one of them says something along the lines of,
"Yeah, he's been acting strange since we got out of the with that thing earlier. It got him on the arm."
And they all begin to crowd around him for a moment as you all run to the car. And you hear, as you're reaching the vehicle, what sounds like a cracking noise. And then you hear shouting. And then some sort of screech as there is something comes like emerging from the crowd of the three of them. Gunfire begins to go off, and hold on, I'm checking something right here. I need to roll a die real quick. And you see 4 creatures. Very similar to, well, Clarity, they look like the ones that you saw before. Come like rushing through like between the legs of the officers. One of the officers fires down at the creature and sort of like explodes in a hail of laser fire. And you see 3 of the others go like disappearing, like scuttling off into the streets, into the night.
Oops.
And there's panic and gunfire, and the officers go chasing after them. But they, you've seen at least 3 get away.
What is oops? What oops? Oops what?
Oh, we should talk in the car.
Okay.
I may have done a bad thing.
What kind of bad thing?
You know, I'm gonna let you make the judgment call on that one.
Well, I was trying to help Choke get away from the LSF back at the facility, you know?
Right? Noble cause, yes.
Mm-hmm. And the way that I did that was I may have opened the cage of the Xeno parasite.
She let one out.
You let an alien out.
Well, they looked really cute and like...
You let a parasitic alien out of its appropriate cage.
It was just supposed to be in the one lab.
Yes.
You let it out on a public servant who frequently goes out into said public.
The idea was that they would kill each other, or at least distract them, and then they would kill it. I didn't know that it could reproduce so easily.
They literally said that. I remember that. I am an idiot, and I remember that. They said that it reproduces inside of host bodies.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know that it did that through biting.
Well, I guess we know now.
So
it just had quadruplets.
Yeah, lesson learned. I mean, it's probably fine. I mean, they'll find and kill the other ones, right?
Those things can now exponentially reproduce.
Well, you know, we weren't planning on living here for that much longer anyway.
Apparently, we might not be able to plan on living much longer if we're all about to be eaten and parasitically infested by Xenos.
I think that they can be trained.
Claire, I love you like a sister, but No. Just no. No. No.
But
No.
Well, I mean, you don't know that.
I draw the line at parasitic aliens. Okay?
You know, everybody's got boundaries, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I read that really, really old series, Animorphs. No parasitic aliens. Not about it. Sorry.
So we are considering this a bad thing, just to get that straight.
Yes, this was a bad thing, Clarity. This is a bad thing that we should not repeat.
I mean, it's
You
a
hear from
joke.
screaming from a block over or so,
That. We don't want that anymore.
followed by gunfire.
Or that. I mean,
Okay.
that maybe that will help actually.
Can we
that
talk
last
about
part.
this
In
at
the
home?
in the car? At least?
Yes. I need a drink. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's
Hey.
fine. There's only like 4 of them.
There was only one of them like 3 hours ago.
That's plenty of time.
I mean, this is Lunatech's fault if you really think about it. They're
Yeah.
the ones that took the DNA and
They shouldn't have that.
created it and
I agree. It is ultimately their fault that we did release this thing into the public of the moon. So
I mean, I feel like it was only a matter of time before they got out.
I mean, this could work for us. This could work against Lunatech if the public finds out that they let an alien parasite loose on the
I
New
mean,
London.
Extremely bad press.
Don't think that I haven't thought about it. I mean, if we go back to our 5-step plan, ultimately the next thing is to sway the general public toward Worm's cause. And again,
Look, we just made it a 4-step plan.
See, if you think about it, I helped a lot.
She took out a whole step.
okay, you may have inadvertently helped with one step.
That's a big deal when there's only 5. Just saying.
And I mean, one of the steps is to ultimately compromise the LSF as a whole and, you know, having them be
Murdered by parasitic aliens.
that could, under some definitions, be considered compromising the organization. That is fair. Just, I wish you would talk to us about these things before you do them.
It was kind of a precarious situation.
It was kind of a split second. I would have talked to you about it.
I understand. I understand in the heat
but-
of the moment, of course. You make a second decision, and of course.
And I really wanted to see one in person, so.
Clarity, no. If you see one in person, it's going to be like giving you triplets. No, we don't. No.
I just saw 3 though, so I consider this a win.
Car. Drinks.
Mhm.
Plan.
I'm hungry.
Me too.
Oh my god.
You climb into the car. Somewhere in the distance, more gunfire rings out. And another LSF shuttle comes hovering in. But this isn't your problem right now.
This seems like a
And,
not us problem.
And you head.
This is a future us problem.
Yeah.
The whole time we
We'll,
were
get to
standing
that.
there and you kept talking about Officer Johnson, my brain was just going, I'm Agent Johnson, and I'm Agent Johnson, and we're from the FBI.
You
I
get
had
back
to
in
say
the
it out
car.
loud before I died.
Of course.
Set your coordinates back for the loft, and you leave the sector, heading back through the transport stations. You're scanned again, but you don't raise any flags there. And you in a couple of hours, you're back at your at the loft with food, I assume.
Shawarma. We got shawarma.
Yeah. Yule and Zane are sitting on the couch. Zane seems to be watching TV. Yule is currently seems to be working on something on her data pad with a rifle sitting on the couch next to her, and a couple of to-go or take-out boxes of Thai food sitting in front of them on the coffee table.
Honey, we're home.
Thai. See, Thai would have been a good idea too. No, shawarma's good.
Yeah.
Shawarma was really good.
Right, welcome back.
Hey guys.
Hi.
You all look rough.
Oh.
It's been a really long day.
Even longer evening.
I'd offered leftovers, but it seems like you got food.
Oh, we're good.
We're fine.
Great. I got a call from Lynn earlier. Seems like our first step's been done, so moving on to whatever we're working on next. We don't have to debrief on that tonight. We can do that in the morning.
Good. Do we still have wine?
I think there's still some in the fridge, yeah.
Great. Impulse will get wine out of the fridge and begin to drink lots of it.
All right, you guys resting for the evening? You eat some shawarma, get some sleep. You wake up the next day and
With a
come
loot
on
drop.
out into... Oh, God. No, thank you, chat, for interacting.
Thanks,
Sorry,
chat.
go ahead. Clarity.
Do I get to do recovery because of sleeping?
Yeah, so you guys can... So with sleeping, you can go ahead and use all of your recovery rolls and reset any recovery rolls you had left and fill up your pools accordingly. Let's go ahead and get a D100 roll for that loot drop while
Whose
you
turn
guys
is
are doing
it?
that, though.
Morgan's turn.
Morgan, do it.
God.
D100.
Okay, hold on.
I forgot you're rolling a bunch of other dice.
I was trying to roll something else.
Sorry.
God, Morgan, do it now.
93.
Ooh.
Three. Oh, what? Okay.
That's never,
Oh no.
That's either really good or really bad.
That perplexed the GM. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay. Huh.
I am concerned.
Can I roll a D6 for me?
I got it. 1.
Juan.
Okay. I'm not gonna have you. I'm gonna bring this up in the next scene. So we'll get that out there. You get up the next morning and head out. Yule is already up. I think she tends to be an early riser, and is currently working on some reports and getting some documents filled out for WRM filing and some other stuff. Who gets up first? I was imagining Choke, but
I was going to say probably me.
yeah, Choke seems like the type that would be up and out of her room before anyone else.
Well, she gets up
after
and
her
works
morning
out.
workout.
And
Yeah,
that's like 2 hours. And
I was
then
about to say, Impulse gets up and then she spends at least those 2 hours like preparing for the day.
take a
So
shower.
so imagine Choke gets up at like 4, does her 2-hour workout,
Take a shower.
Yeah.
Clean the guns. Polish
Yeah.
the chain. Smoothie for breakfast.
Okay. So you get up and Yule is currently working on a few things, and she has the as you come out, she has the TV on in the background, projected on the wall. It's currently muted, and she's not really looking at it. But you look over and you see a news broadcast that's going on, and it goes over a couple things, and then it goes back to a breaking report, which seems like it's been probably playing all morning, detailing a full quarantine of G-Sphere that has been implemented by the LSF immediately.
You're up early.
Oh, right. Yeah, I had a few things to get together for Lynn. Morning.
What's that? Quarantine?
Oh, right. That's been playing all morning. I'm not entirely sure, actually. It's some sort of lockdown. I assume it's typical lunatic propaganda. They're probably still just investigating what happened last night.
They didn't say anything.
From what I saw, this says there were some attacks. Some sort of weird infection, I guess, that they're worried about. Again, doesn't seem like what you look like you know something.
Do I?
You sound like you know something too.
Do I?
What happened?
Clarity let loose a parasitic alien.
She what?
Let loose a parasitic alien from a lab.
An alien from...
It was supposed to stay in the... And then it...
Oh, okay. So you're telling me, and just as she's talking, her data pad begins to go off, and she looks down. She says, "Shit!" She picks it up and begins to receive a transmission. She goes, "Lynn, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I heard. I saw the. So it's actually. No, I didn't know anything about this." She looks pointedly over at Joke.
You said we could debrief in the morning.
Right. No, that sounds bad. Yeah, I can get on it. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. She hangs up. You're gonna tell me everything that happened last night right now.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Well, that
WRM's
didn't...
on full...
That happened sort of during the whole infiltration. Oh, I almost got arrested on suspicion of terrorism. But we're good there.
You're good.
Mm.
They just let you go?
Well, yeah, in so many words. I didn't kill him. Don't look at me like that. Clarity
Get the
broke
others
their
up.
computer, and then they let me go.
And that's all that happened?
And then the alien thing. You said we can debrief in the morning.
Yeah, it's morning. Can you get the others up? Now, please.
I don't want to...
I feel like it's important.
I don't want to wake Impulse. You know what she's like.
Yeah, that's why I'm having you do it. I'll get Clarity. How about that?
You owe me.
She heads over and begins to bang on Clarity's door. And that's where we're going to take our break for our session today. So we're going to go ahead and take a few minutes to refresh while the crew thinks about the consequences of their actions.
Of one of us thinks about the consequences of her actions. No. We didn't.
Parasitic aliens are not pets.
We did nothing.
Well, she let it out, and then you guys decided it wasn't your problem, and you decided to leave.
They were like, "Oh, are you a terrorist? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna run at a bunch of cops who just accused me of being a terrorist with a gun."
Well,
The consequences of my actions were none of us got shot.
Chat says hashtag Clarity did nothing wrong.
It does everything wrong. All the time.
Rude.
I love it because this is again a subplot that I hadn't considered until Clarity did that, and then I'm like, "Yep, this is my next 2 or 3 sessions."
Literal xenomorphs in here, and you didn't think Clarity was gonna be like, "That's a pet."
That's adorable.
Yeah, you know, that was always an option, but part of me thought you guys were gonna look at it, be like, "That's cool," and then we were gonna move on. But nope, this is it
Agent
now.
Johnson.
We're gonna go full. We're going full aliens in this.
As in aliens, as in two.
As in two. As in aliens.
Boy.
So over the break, I want everybody in chat to decide which alien character everyone is. That's your homework.
I have ideas. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after we refresh. So everybody go use the bathroom, get a drink some water, take your meds, get some food, anything you might need to, and we will see everyone back here very soon.
And don't let out any aliens.
Don't do that. Welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us while we took our break. We're gonna go ahead and get back to it and maybe fight some aliens. So you all have been roused by I mean, I don't know if we need to actually play out what happens with Impulse and Choke in that moment. We are free to do that. Impulse, you knock on or Choke, you knock on Impulse's door.
Impulse.
You hear an old recording of Bye Bye Birdie playing just in the background, very loudly.
Impulse. Carefully walk into the room.
You see the setup as she has like a full screen in front of what you can see through the shadow of the screen is like her gigantic vanity, and she is seated at it, and she appears to be humming. And as soon as you crack open the door, she says, "I'm not decent."
It's an emergency.
So is my face if it's not on yet.
The
I'll
entire
be there
city's
shortly.
under quarantine.
For what?
Parasitic aliens.
I'll skip my second moisturize. I'll be out in 10 minutes.
Okay, but if you'll shoot me, it's your fault.
I'll be out in 10.
Already gone.
All right, so 10 minutes later.
Looking extremely perturbed, but otherwise exactly the way she normally does. I'm here.
Yule, who looks equally irritated, says, "Well, thank you for joining us."
I still have 15 minutes left on my regime. What is it?
She gestures to the TV with the broadcast still playing. Clarity, did you get up, or was there any drama there?
She looks extraordinarily half asleep and is kind of barely there.
She gestures to the TV and she says, "So, do you all want to explain this?"
Claire?
Well, there were aliens. Well, there was one alien. And now there are more. See, the way that exponential growth works is that sometimes things will double and then double again and then double again so that you get more and more over time.
Right.
So that's what's happening with the aliens that there are now more of because of the exponential growth. Do you know about this?
It's not my field of expertise, but I'm understanding it. I want to know how we got to 1.
Well, Lunatic had created an alien, and somehow it got out.
And
Somehow.
then bit an LSF officer who then became the host for the parasite. It continued to reproduce inside of his body and then burst out, painfully killing him, but creating 4 more of said alien.
One of them got shot, so technically only 3 more.
But the entire area is now under quarantine, so I'm assuming it's probably more than 3 now.
Great. This is great. So we have to deal
Honestly,
with this now.
It is great because if everyone will go back to their notes of what our next steps are in the 5-point plan, swaying the people toward the cause of Worm is the next step. Closely followed by both breaking negotiations with Earth corporations and compromising the LSF. Now, I will go ahead and explain to you why this may actually be in our favor for all 3 of those next steps. So, by letting something this dangerous infest out into the general public, the people are far more likely to be looking for a radical hero to save them from this current endeavor. Worm could fit that bill. Next step being breaking negotiations with Earth. Earth is not going to want anything to do with us if we have a gigantic parasitic alien species taking over all of us, so they're going to keep very hands off from us. And compromising LSF, honestly, maybe we should just change that to number 2, because I feel like we've kind of already done that.
Okay. So I'm going to provide a different sort of light on this. We can't really get the people to our side if they're all dead. And at the rate this is going, we may end up there. Also, WRM is stationed out of Osphere. All of our operatives work out of there. Our headquarters are in that sector. If LSF starts knocking down doors, trying to clear out this infection, before long, they may kick down the wrong door.
Okay, so this opportunity needs some tweaking. But I think overall we can make it work in our favor.
All right. Dragon has ordered a full lockdown of any operatives that are currently in Osphere.
Which is
and
not
they
us. Bonus.
It's not us. They're currently trying to keep things under control to keep LSF in the dark as much as possible. But not only now are they dealing with LSF, they're dealing with a alien parasitic species that is killing people in the district.
Well, first it infests them, and then it tends to reproduce inside their bodies, and then its offspring bursts forth through their bodies and then kills them. There are a couple more steps.
I'll make sure to let Lynn know that. I'm sure that's going to make him feel a lot better about this situation.
as far as we know, people don't die until the thingy reproduces fully, right? So, I mean, if we can come up with a way of stopping that reproductive process, then people won't die as quickly. Or at all, potentially.
And I mean, the species died out before. It must have some sort of weakness that can be exploited.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I mean, this was just like DNA that they were messing with, not like a full thing. So, I mean,
Right. Okay. So we need to deal with this.
yeah. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. It's like the big brainstorm, right?
Okay. I'm thinking guns.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a good place to start. Disrupting the reproductive process, as you put it, also sounds like a good start. So let's work on that.
Okay. Now, in the meantime, though, I mean, those are the big ones. But I really think that we should take advantage of this opportunity to really put a spotlight on how much things are lacking within LSF. And, maybe, I don't know, get a news spotlight, or get some good posters out or something. Gotta think ahead too, not just what we're dealing with right now. So
Well, I think the posters are going to have to come after we make sure that our people aren't all about to die.
well, at least just put it on your radar. I mean, like in 5 days or whatever.
Now, is this really like that serious? Because like it was just the one, and I did it to save Choke, so that's good because Choke's still here.
Claire, do you want to give yourself the chat about exponential growth again?
Why?
I think you may have answered your own question.
Oh, right. But still, I mean, I think the whole saving Choke thing is like the important part here that everyone else should also focus on.
Absolutely. I mean, we still have Choke. She's a very valuable member of this team. A pillar, even, I would say.
We're all happy that Choke is still here.
Yeah, I bet you are.
All right. I'm going to get on the phone with Lynn. Let them know everything that you just told me. I'm going to leave out the part where we're the ones that caused this.
Maybe that's for the best.
I mean,
Right.
if that guy just hadn't been bitten, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't force him to, like, put his arm out and get bitten,
Okay. Right. I'm going to deal with this. You all start coming up with what our approach is going to be here. I have some supplies that we were given to work on our next assignment. See if we can put those to use. Ammunition, other supplies, and then one box over there that all can figure out. All right, I'm going to start making calls.
Okay.
And she goes and starts making calls on her datapad.
Has she had breakfast? She just seems like very grouchy. Anyway. So, we need to take down a parasitic alien species. Thoughts?
Well, did I get any information before I wiped their systems, or did I not get any information at all? I can't remember.
On the Xenos, I don't remember if you actually downloaded anything on those.
I think. I don't remember. I feel like I would have tried to.
To get something. Sure. I mean, what I will say is referencing the data that you pulled just from their general systems, you can see how much you're able to gather. So, we'll make a roll for that. You have, let's see. Set this at a 4. You have your risk computer as an asset, so that'll reduce it to a 3. Do you have any other training that might help?
I have. Hold on. What does that mean? Finding something new, which I'm trained in, which is from like one of my things that I took from being imaginative, I think. I didn't know how else to state it.
Sure, that works. we can work with that. So I'll reduce it to a 2.
Okay, cool. I'll go with that. I got a 2.
Ooh.
So that's a fail.
Yep.
You roll a 6 or higher. You can try to re-roll or just go with what you had.
I'll just go with it.
Okay. So we'll say you go through the data that you had, but it seems like in the moment, trying to get the information that you were there for, you didn't get anything useful on these creatures.
So, what do we know about the aliens?
Well, I think, and I have no stake in this whatsoever, but I think we should try and get a specimen so that we can
Clary,
then
you're not gonna get one of
study
these as
it.
a pet, okay?
It doesn't have to be a live specimen.
We'll put it on the list of possible next steps, but as of right now, without a pet specimen, what do we know about these things?
They bite you, and that somehow is how they reproduce.
Bite, reproduced, chest burst, death. Okay. So I'm seeing a few things. One, there may be, well, if you just don't let them bite you in the first place, right? That seems more difficult, so we'll put a pin in that one. But the reproduction part, right? Kind of what Yul was saying. Maybe there's a way to sort of disrupt that process inside of a host body, right?
I wonder if there's like anything like super strong that they can't bite through, and we can just like armor ourselves up.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah, so bite-proof armor. I like that. Okay. I mean, do you think there's some sort of like xeno like diaphragm that like we could like put in people, or like
Like a contraceptive?
yeah. Like a xenocontraceptive. Like maybe there's like,
You could-
it doesn't have to actually be like, like a xeno like condom or something. But I mean,
You
it
couldn't
could be,
have
like,
said,
like
vaccine.
I mean, we're talking about reproduction, like physical reproduction, not
I
just
mean,
like a virus.
maybe
or
they could
something.
create like a birth control that like
Okay, it is a parasite, though.
Well, yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, fine. Vaccine. We'll go with vaccine. Like an enzyme or something that would prevent them from being able to reproduce in a host body.
I'm just saying I'm full support of contraceptive instead of vaccine, but it's just my vote.
I mean, if we can figure out what their lifespan is and starve them out. I mean, I'm sure that the LSF is working on this too, but who knows when they'll come up with a solution, or if it's going to be like a good solution. Maybe they'll just be like, screw those people and send them off into space. I don't know. So,
Lifespan is a good idea. Probably need to figure that out too. I mean, those seem like really good first starts, right? And then just like the crudest of all is just, okay, how do we kill a lot of them really quickly?
well, like, there could be like some sort of fumigating compound that's like safe for humans, but maybe not safe for them, which is probably why we should study them. Because if you could just like flood an area with something that's poisonous to them, of course, without like hurting humans, because that's apparently wrong. So
Apparently.
it's definitely wrong.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so we have bite-proof armor, and then a contraceptive / vaccination. Figuring out their lifespans and maybe fucking with that in some capacity, at the very least, waiting them out. And then some sort of non-human lethal fumigation process. Yeah. These are all great points. Great job, team. Snaps.
Is guns on the list?
Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot. Just kill a lot. Yes, that is on the list. Just kill a lot of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like that's always on our list.
I just like to know when it's an option. Because occasionally it's not. And I need to know ahead of time that it's not.
I'll just when we think of it this way, like I'll explicitly tell you when it's not on the table, and otherwise you can just sort of tacitly assume that it is otherwise, unless we say so. I think that's fair, right?
Okay.
So just always assume that like kill a lot of them is part of the plan.
Okay.
Unless specifically stated.
Got it.
Save a lot of time, I think. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, so what do we start with first?
Well, I think we need to get a specimen of some sort, like you said.
Harboring this, aren't you?
I'm just saying, if we want to do any of the other stuff to figure out how to kill it, like not just with guns, but like overall, like it needs to be studied, and we need to find someone who can study it. And I'm guessing Worm might have someone on the team who can do that. So I'm just saying.
It's a good idea.
Yes, fine. It's a good idea. Okay. So we'll get a specimen, but getting a specimen probably means that like first on the list probably has to be kill a lot of them.
And also armor.
Armor too, yeah.
So we should look through this junk that you gave us.
Yeah, good idea. I figure if it probably stops like armor piercing bullets, it would stop this thing's teeth, right?
You know that's kind of the point of armor-piercing bullets, right? is to go through armor.
Well, but there's still armor that, like, won't let it go all the way through, right?
I don't have that kind of money.
Oh. Alright. What do we got?
So looking over what you've been given by Yule, most of it is just your standard like ammunition and munitions and things that you would need for any of your operations. But one of the devices, I'm pulling this back up because I accidentally went to a different page and now I have to find it again. There is a case that holds a relatively small, maybe like 6-inch by 6-inch, like chrome cube, which has some like ports on the side to like plug in things on it. And you, because you've been given this, I'm not going to make you roll. There's like a, I don't know, instruction manual included with it, and this is a what am I trying to say, like a microfusion power supply. Basically it is a very condensed like power source that you could use to power devices without having to connect to the grid. This is the cipher that you guys were given. Provide the text of it is provides power to another device for up to a day. Device can be as simple as a light source or as complex as a small starcraft. You guys rolled a 2, right? On your d6 roll, so the level is a 6. You can power things based on like the difficulty. So the examples it gives here is like a desk lamp is a level 1 power requirement. A car engine would be like a power level 5. A starcraft would be like a power level 10. You could power something about a little bit beefier than like a car with this.
All right, then.
Not as obviously fun as a grenade, but I'm sure that you guys can figure out something to do with it.
Well, I guess first and foremost, we figure out a way to get into O and kill one of these things.
Or a lot of them. I mean, if we can manage to just kill a lot of them and then just take one as a sample, that might be easiest.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So, should I bring my grenades?
Probably.
Wait, do you have more than one?
Yeah. Of course.
Of course.
I have my thermite grenades.
Do you even know what thermite is?
I know it's really, really hot. Right?
I think that's probably as much as you need to know.
And then I have the pressury ones.
You frighten me.
They'll work. Okay.
I'll get the
bring
guns.
one of
I love this part.
All right. Anything you guys are doing before you head over to, or is the plan to load up and head over to Osphere?
Yeah, I just gotta figure out how to get in.
Yeah.
Okay. So you you taking the stolen car again?
Yeah, that's why we stole it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Get around town.
Duh.
Why do I even ask these things? You load up in the car, head to the head over to like the transport docks that lead over to Osphere, and as you can tell, when you're arriving, most of them have been locked down, or pretty much all of them have been locked down by LSF. There are LSF patrol or shuttles and personnel that are stationed at each one. Big like neon signs flashing above that saying like no entry permitted, quarantine.
So what do we think? I don't think I can really do the doctor thing again.
Probably not. Is there a weak point somewhere where we could, like, I don't know, jump the border?
I could like do some hacking stuff and see if we can get in.
That's probably going to be our best bet.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. How do you want to do that, Clarity?
Could I like label our vehicle as like essential workers or like military
Okay.
to try and like get let in through a checkpoint?
Yeah, you could do that. It's probably pretty difficult.
Oh no.
Let me see. I put this at challenging, so this would be a 5.
Okay, well, I have a wrist computer.
I don't know if this would be information based, so I don't know if your wrist
Ah.
computer will help with this.
Well, I'm specialized in computer programming.
You are, so that'll knock it down 2 steps to a 3.
And then I do have, well, oh, those are special abilities. Let's see.
I could give you a pep talk and or give you good advice.
I'm good with that.
All right, go for pep talk.
You look really tense. Like, are you good?
Well, I released an alien parasite, and everyone's a little bit mad about that.
You know what? What's
so-
done is done. We have to, accept and move on. It's okay. So, don't worry. Like, you know, a little neck rub. You okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, you just keep doing you and just chugging along, okay? For real. Like, just don't let it get you down. We all make mistakes, Like, I somehow decided that those, like, long asymmetrical bangs were a good idea. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
released an alien species that's gonna potentially kill us all. I mean, just we all goof up,
I thought the bangs looked pretty good.
Nah, those bangs were terrible.
They were
Oh.
a really bad idea. Okay.
I don't really
Yeah.
do bangs.
Yeah, they're not. No, not a great look for you.
Well, thank you.
Anytime. Go get them.
Okay.
All right, so that'll reduce it another 1 step. So we're at a 5, another 3, so we're at a 2.
Okay. Got 12.
12 succeeds. So you reprogram some of the access codes on the car, so that when it is scanned approaching the checkpoint, that it flags you said like a government vehicle or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that it'll flag a government vehicle and give some sort of prompt that will make them hopefully not check and let you pass through. You feel pretty confident in it as you approach. Just for the sake of fun, I am going to offer you an intrusion here. So I think what it is going to you're hacking and you're reprogramming the vehicle you do it so well that when you are approaching the checkpoint, I think coming through as a VIP, some of the LSF security team, they are going to escort you through. So you may have to deal with some LSF officers tailing you once you get inside, which you guys can figure out a way to deal with. So I will offer you this intrusion. You can take it for an XP, or you can turn it down by spending an XP.
I will spend an XP.
Okay.
Wait.
So
No, I won't.
won't. All right. So you can take your XP for the intrusion. You approach the gate. You're waved through by the guards on station, by the patrols that's currently stationed there, and they don't ask you to slow down or give any additional clearance passing through. You can see everyone looks a little bit shocked and kind of concerned. This ominous black luxury hover car going through with government clearance. I mean, they can only assume who's inside. But a LSF actually, would they send a hover car? I think they send a support drone to follow behind. So I think that's what they send instead of a full squad car. So as you pass through, you see one of the LSF drones detach from the shuttle and begin to follow behind to provide sort of security as you are heading into the quarantine zone.
Okay. So I guess if anything attacks our car, we have that behind us. Are we just gonna do this like we did the shrimp, with just the windows rolled down and our guns going shooty shooty?
I mean, it worked then.
We almost got killed on several occasions. I mean, it worked in the end.
But
don't
you
get me wrong.
almost got killed.
And with clarity, and yeah. Yeah, sure.
And then I can use my Magnapulse gauntlet to just get one of the bodies into the car without actually having to leave it.
Oh.
Or, I
Handy.
mean, second plan, I'll just go in.
But I don't want you to get bit.
I mean, I don't want me to get bit, but if we can catch a straggler, then we're not
And if we
putting
could
the
just-
car and all of us in so much danger. And
I
you
mean, how
can
difficult would it be for you to shoot from the car? Like, pew pew.
It depends on what I'm shooting at. It's rarely difficult for me to shoot anything.
One of these massive alien parasites.
I mean, the bigger it is, the easier it's going to be to hit. The more shots it's going to take it down.
How about we plan on that? And if it seems like it's taking a while, then maybe we can like sideswipe one, like down an alley or something, and like corner just like the one.
I mean, we should try to plan on getting one we can fit in the car.
Also a good idea. Yeah.
I'm not really like trying to fight Godzilla today.
No. I mean, honestly, if it would like fit in the little mini bar thing that like pops up, I mean, that would be ideal.
Right, that's why I was thinking of just like catch a straggler.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, we'll do a drive-by, and then if I have to get out of the car, we'll cross that
Go
bridge when
from
we come to
there.
it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so you head into the sector, and you can see they are in full lockdown here. Every like billboard and every display has like a quarantine warning and an LSF designation under it. There's nobody on the streets. It's actually like eerily quiet as you're hovering through. Then occasionally you get a like a loudspeaker announcement that goes through the sector. Like that basically just says like, by order of the LSF, all civilians are designated to stay within their residences until further notice. And that just repeats every so often. I'd like someone to make essentially like to roll like for perception or to try to spot one of these creatures. Does anyone have a skill or anything that would be applicable there? No, Clarity, you have like your scan thing. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yes.
Remind me what that does again.
It's very long. You can scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures within that area. The area must be within short range. Scanning a creature or object away always reveals its level. You also learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter and energy in that area. For example, you might let's see.
So that seems more directed. So it's only a 10-foot area. Yeah. So maybe once you spot one of these things, you could try scanning it to get some information on it. So let's, I'm going to have somebody roll just like a spot check for me. Whoever wants to take point on that.
I guess Clarity will do it.
All right. You don't have anything training you in this, but I don't think this is going to be especially difficult. I would say this would be a 2. It's just a standard task.
Okay.
Typical task requiring focus, but most people can usually do this. Spotting an alien.
19.
On a city street. Oh, damn. Okay. You do this. You utilize like the external cameras in the vehicle and jack into those with your cybernetics to get like a full like 360 view of the car. And as you're heading through the city, you don't see much movement, which makes this even easier to spot. As you are hovering like through some buildings, the drone still kind of following behind, you pick up some movement on your sensors and immediately kind of zero in on that location. And you see something duck behind a, like kind of dart through an alleyway out of sight, roughly person-sized.
Can I now use my scan ability?
You can. This would be a perfect time to do it. Can you do that for free at this point?
At this
point.
Okay.
So immediately saying that, you you jack into some of the like the street cameras and sensors and things in that area and get like a full readout. And what you see is through like thermal sensors, you do see some sort of living creature that is in that area, but you immediately registered that is not human. It sort of stops for a bit at the end of this alleyway around the corner, though you can't see it. And your sensor readout like comes up with a couple of things, because I think you can tell it says always reveals its level. So in fiction wise, you immediately pick up like this is probably one of these, like you don't getting identified like biometric readings or anything that would signify that this is a person. This is something that you can't identify. So this is probably what you're looking for. Its level is 6.
Well, I think I found a bigger one. Yeah. Do we want to roll down some windows and see what we can do, or?
I guess.
I would prefer to stay in the vehicle as much as possible, so sure.
Well, yeah, let's see what we can do from here.
Okay, so you bring the car down to hover at a little bit off the ground, just outside the end of this alleyway, and you're getting the creature still down there somewhere. And you kind of you bring it to a stop, and you sit there waiting for a moment to see if it does anything. Just to make sure I understand what you guys are doing. Nobody's getting out of the car.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
You wait for a moment, the drone kind of hovering overhead and coming to rest like over the car. And there's a bit of pause for a moment. Nothing seems to happen. And then you all hear what sounds like a buzzing noise. And then you see sort of shooting out of the alleyway at a very quick speed, flying a little bit off of the ground. You see a fully matured xenoparasite. It is about 6 feet tall. It has an insect-like body with sort of double-jointed legs, claws at the end. The overall build is relatively human, like torso, segmented sort of armor. Its head, though, sort of protrudes forward slightly. It has 6 kind of deep set red eyes and a set of like clacking mandibles in front of a mouth that has jagged teeth in it. It's flying currently on 4 insect-like wings, and at the end of its arms, it has relatively human-like hands, except only with like the 3 fingers, and 2 sort of blade-like protrusions that come out of the tops of their wrists. And it lunges forward and grabs onto the side of the car, and with the whole vehicle sort of shakes for a moment as it begins to sort of bash on the window.
Cool.
Mistake?
Maybe.
Do you want this as a pet now?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it would be cool. I mean, this one's big enough that I could, like, ride on the back and, like...
No!
Stay in the car. I'm gonna, pop open the door on the opposite side of the car and go, like, over the roof.
Okay.
And shoot at it from the other side of the
We're
car.
gonna roll something we haven't done in a long time, I feel like,
Fight?
which is our initiative check.
Do we roll 2 or just them?
It's whoever's going to be participating in this combat encounter. God, it's been so long though that I have to roll for combat. I have to pull up the combat rules because I believe it is a speed roll. Well, that's not where I want to be at all. All right. Yeah, so it's an initiative check. If you're not trained in initiative or anything, it's just it's a speed roll. So Choke, go ahead and roll for me. Difficulty is a 6.
7.
Okay, so it gets to move first. What happens is you open up the car and come over the top. Immediately, it just sort of like locks onto you. Its mandibles opening, and it lunges in your direction, going to strike out with you with one of these blade-like protrusions on its arm at you. It is a speed defense roll to avoid.
Okay. Wow, can't save that one. I've
What'd you
rolled
roll?
a 2.
That's very bad.
It's extremely bad. It's almost as bad as it can get.
I'm pulling up the creature listings again. Alphabetical.
Hey, don't let me turn into an alien, okay?
I'll try not to.
I wasn't talking to you.
How do we stop that? Is there anything we can do?
I'm a
First it stabs at Choke. And
it.
one of these blades goes
Your blades.
sinking through Choke's armor. It is 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Do you have any armor?
Somewhere. I'm looking. I have 1 armor.
Okay.
Don't think I have anything else.
I think we just.
Oh, no,
have
wait. Okay,
leather
so
jackets.
it is actually... Ooh. No, it's Stinger is the one. Okay,
I
yeah,
don't like it when you go, ooh.
I was reminding myself. So, do you have armor, you said?
I have 1 armor.
You have 1 armor. Okay, so you can reduce the damage by 1. So the Stinger actually only does 3 points of damage.
Okay.
So it's 3 points reduced to 2. But I need you to make a might defense roll.
Okay. What do I
I-
take the damage from? Which pool?
And your might pool.
Okay. So it's 2, and then might defense.
Again, difficulty is still
I guess
is
I would
6 for
I would know if I was trained in that probably.
it would say.
Yeah.
You'd have that on your sheet.
I don't think I have any of that. Now can I spend
You can spend effort.
effort? I would like to.
Yeah. Okay. How many levels?
2.
Okay. So you spend the points from your pool for that. And,
I don't know how many
you
it
just-
is though.
So it's 3 for the first one. Do you have edge?
I have 2 edge.
Okay. So it'd be 1 for the first one,
Uh-huh.
and then another 2 for the
2.
second.
Okay, so 3 total. That's fine. Okay. Which brings it down to
So you reduce it, so it's a 4.
I've rolled an 8. I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, you need a 12. So it stabs you, and you feel this burning sensation where it has stabbed you. as Choke doesn't know this yet, as it injects your body with thousands of microscopic eggs.
Love it.
So, that was its turn. You get to go now.
I like that a lot. I would like to use my cipher that I have. It's very close to me, so we're gonna not do guns now.
Okay.
I want to use Deathbringer.
All right.
So for the next minute, if I hit something, let's see, an NPC or creature of the cipher level or lower, and it's a level 6.
Okay.
And so is
it
this thing,
the
right?
cipher level or lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I can do stuff. I'm gonna try to hit it with sword.
All right. It is a difficulty. So difficulty 6. Do you have training or anything in the weapon?
Bet I probably do. What is this? Knife, sword. I have training in all the weapons I have. Right? Where did my
I'll
thing
pull
go?
up your sheet.
I'm looking. You've got practice with light medium heavy weapons. That's practiced. It's not trained.
Yeah.
All the weapons I have, I am trained in, including knife.
Okay.
And I have the
then
thing
you're-
for extra melee damage, I think.
Okay, so you'd be trained in this too.
Sword is just big knife.
Yeah, it's just big knife. Okay, so you can reduce the difficulty to a 5.
Okay. I'm gonna spend effort.
Okay. 1 or 2 levels.
I'm gonna do 2. This is dangerous.
So you spend 3 points.
Okay.
Reduce it to a 3.
6, 7, 5. Okay. So that's a 9.
So
I have to roll a 9.
A 9 or higher.
Oh god. I roll so bad all the time in this game. That's an 18.
18. I think you do get an additional effect for that. Boy, I need to have these rules somewhere easier to find. Special rolls. You get a major effect. No, that's just when you roll 20. There is something for combat when you're rolling.
I think it's extra damage.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think it's like an extra.
I want to do the thing that the sword does, though, which might negate this whole conversation.
Oh yeah, what does the sword do?
Because if I hit it, then I can make a second attack roll, and if the second attack roll is a success, it dies.
Oh, okay, yeah. It is 2 extra points of damage.
Okay.
So
even if that
so you make
doesn't work, I'll still do the damage, but
yeah.
I want to see if it
So
dies first.
make a second attack roll. This is again a 6. You're gonna spend effort
Yes.
to do the. Okay, so we'll spend the points and you'll reduce it to a 3 again.
Uh-huh. Oh, man. I've never spent this many points. No, that's a 2.
That's a 2.
Did
Okay.
that. But it still does damage.
Okay, so what's the damage of the sword?
It doesn't say is the thing.
Love that. Let me see. It's probably equal to the level of the cipher.
That would be 6 then.
Remember what the actual cipher name is?
Yes, I wrote it down. It is a you said neural disruptor vibroblade. In parentheses, Deathbringer.
Oh, Deathbringer. Okay, yeah, that's it.
I couldn't remember which one was the one out of the book.
It's basically like one of those drink mixers, just sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Exactly.
headcanon. Makes cappuccinos
alright.
and slays your enemies.
Deathbringer. Yeah, it doesn't give a damage for it. What is your... I just gotta find a sword thing. Well, actually, okay. What is your chain does 5?
Yes.
Okay, we'll
And
put
that's
it at
with
the same
the-
level as.
Is that, yeah, because that's with the extra melee damage that I get to do. So yeah,
Yeah,
5.
we'd say this would be on the same level as your chain.
And then I get an extra damage from the 18. So
2 extra damage.
yeah, so
7.
7.
7 points of damage. All right. It is 2 armor, so it reduces it by 2, so it takes 5 damage.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. All right. Yeah, it you strike out reflexively with the vibro blade as it as you draw it from its sheath, and the edge of it along the blade part begins to hum with this sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, malicious energy to it, and you just slice out, and it just cleaves off like a chunk of the chitin of this creature. You don't hit a vital spot, but it does cut through it like butter. All right. So that was your turn. Do Clarity and Impulse want to get on this?
I have an intrusion I would like to spend.
Okay.
So it is, hold on, let me find it. It is called Inexplicably Unbroken. I can use it to get one more use out of a depleted cipher.
Okay.
So I'd like to use that on Choke's sword.
Okay, so her sword is good for the next minute.
Cool.
You could use that to let her get it back after this fight.
Cool. I
to
wasn't
run
sure
up the use of
about
it.
that.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
That
I
is
wanted to double check on that because trying to think if there's anything that I can't do.
I don't know if you guys have any weapons or anything
Is
on
the
you. You wanna
drone
try.
that's been following us doing anything?
It's about to, but it hasn't. I think you see it above the car, above Choke and the creature, and the lights along the edge of it begin to light up in red, and you hear this humming coming from it.
Okay.
You have a blaster?
I do have a blaster.
You can blast it.
I would like to blast it.
Okay, yeah, try to blast it.
Okay, how do I do that?
So it is are you trained in the blaster?
Nope.
Okay, so it's a difficulty 6.
Oh no.
So you can roll it just straight, or you can spend points from your might pool or your speed pool, sorry, for blasters, and try to reduce the difficulty with effort.
Okay. I will do that then.
Okay.
Let's see. And it's from the speed
Your effort-
pool.
Yeah, and your effort levels across all of your pools. So you still have an effort of 2, but do you have any edge in speed?
No.
Okay, so it would be 3 points for your first level of effort, and then if you wanted to do 2 levels of effort, you could spend another 2 points for it.
So 5 points total.
5 points total. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, so 5 points total, and you can bring this down to a 4.
Oh man. Okay.
So you have to roll 12 or higher.
Let's try, I suppose.
Give it a shot. Never know.
Got 16.
That's really good. So what is the damage on the blaster?
2.
2 damage.
What Sid said.
2 damage.
So.
Okay. You fire the blaster at a point blank range at the creature as you roll down the window where it's currently latched onto, attacking Choke over, and you shoot at one of its legs. The blaster hits and leaves like a scorch mark on the like chitin its chitinous body, but still do a significant amount of damage. It does sort of like spook the creature though, and it causes it to recoil from the car as something has impacted it. So it has 2 armor, so it reduces it to 0, but it does have an impact of getting it off Choke for a second. So anything else from Impulse?
I could also blast it for no damage, I suppose.
It's up to you.
Or knife it for no damage. Or throw a thermite grenade and kill our friend.
It is off the car now, so it's in a position where you could potentially grenade it.
Is it far enough away from her?
It's Chuck's on the other side of the car from it. So you guys are in the car. It was on, so car here, it was on this side and kind of came off it. Choke is on the other side of the car. So you guys are closer to the grenade than where the grenade would be than Choke is.
I'm also outside of the very fancy armored car, but Choke is not concerned about grenade.
I throw a grenade at it!
All right. Haven't ever had to deal with a grenade in this system before. So you have... You know how much the grenade does?
5 damage.
Damn. Let's see. Grenades. I want to say you still need to make an attack roll for this.
Great.
But I'm not 100% sure. We're learning. God, I realized that we haven't done combat since like the first session that we did this game.
We like to talk our way out of things.
You guys are very good at avoiding combat, which makes me very bad at running it. Need to push you guys into more of it so I can get comfortable. So you have... What am I looking at? Oh, genres. Okay. For sci-fi... Pretty sure it's just gonna tell me grenade. Okay, so this is your thermite grenade, explosive weapon. It inflicts 5 points of damage in immediate radius. Just roll a. This is gonna be a speed roll.
Okay. I have nothing special in that, so. Just roll.
Yeah. You can just roll, or you can spend effort if you want to.
I'll do that.
Okay. You can spend 1 or 2 levels of effort. Do you have any edge in speed?
I do not.
Okay. So it'd be 3 points for your first level, 2 point, and then an additional 2 points for your second level.
Woof.
So
I'll spend a point. So
you spend 3 points for
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll reduce it to a 5, so you have to roll 15 or higher.
Damn. Can I give myself a pep talk? No.
You can do it.
Oh,
you can throw this grenade.
Man.
Don't think you have time for a pep talk.
No, probably not. Oh shit. Would my terrifying presence work on this thing? No, it has to be level 3 or lower, never mind.
Yeah, it's a little too scary for that.
A little too scary. Sure, here we go. Woo! Nope.
What'd you roll?
8.
Okay, not quite enough. But the grenade does still go off. So you hurl the grenade at the ground by the creature's feet, and I think already having been spooked by the laser fire and getting slashed by the blade, it retracts backwards. I don't think you get the impression this thing hasn't dealt with anything that's fought back yet, and it sees the grenade and sort of retreats away from it, and then the grenade detonates. It doesn't, since it's a thermite grenade, it doesn't really explode in the way that you would typically expect. Instead, there's kind of a burst, and there's this incendiary effect that begins to kind of like, I think, sci-fi thermite grenade. I think it just forms a big hole in the street here in like a flash. There's just a mess. It's like melted into the pipes, into like the sewer beneath. That happens, and then the drone above you, you watch that whirring noise. Suddenly retracting down from it is I want to say like a mounted like rifle, and it begins to fire doosh, 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 doosh at the creature. I think with all of that happening, the creature kind of shrieks and then retreats into the hole in the ground that has just formed. And disappears. What do you do? We don't have to go in, unless you're pursuing it. We're not going to do more initiative.
It went down into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Can we drop another grenade into the hole?
You can. Another thermite grenade, or do you have a different grenade you want to...
I mean, I've got the pressurized one, but I feel like I should just, like, wait for that to use as a landmine. So, yeah, sure, we'll go with the thermite one.
Okay. You chuck another grenade in the hole to follow it, and there is an ensuing explosion that follows. Go ahead and roll a speed roll for me again, just to see if you were quick enough to get it before it got away.
Used some more effort. Yeah. 15 or higher. No. 12.
No. Okay.
No.
It explodes again, and there's this like cloud of like steam that comes up as the thermite like vaporizes the water down there, and you hear another shriek that seems to be retreating, kind of echoing through the sewers below, as the creature seems to be fleeing.
Should I go after it?
Got stabbed.
Yep.
I think we should take you to see a doctor.
Wait,
Okay.
I thought the bite is wait. Are you pregnant?
I will shoot you. What matters right now is that I'm bleeding a lot.
Right. Okay. Let's fix that.
I will remind you do know a doctor in this sector. Razor.
Upside. Maybe I'm a specimen.
Well, let's hope we can fix ya before anything pops out of ya.
I would love that.
Me too.
No popping. No, I'm not.
It probably wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's happened to me.
Very fair. Oh boy.
We should probably. I'm bleeding a lot.
Okay, how do we get to razors again? Let's do that. Quickly?
All right.
Razors.
You all load up into the car, and the drone above you stops the whirring noise, and it retracts the rifle or the turret, and you quickly set in Razor's the location of Razor's clinic and begin to zoom off that way. Choke, having been stabbed and infected, and needing to deal with that as quickly as possible. And we cut to just we're gonna end here before we end, as you guys are driving off. We cut to a terminal back in iSphere in an LSF station, and a technician currently looking at a screen sees this battle unfold here, and freezes the image at Choke getting back into the car, and Impulse leaning out of it, throwing in the grenade, and it turns back around and says, Sergeant, you might want to take a look at this. And one of the armored LSF agents with their helmet removed looks down, looks at that. Shit. Get a squad together. We're going in. And that's where we're going to end the session for today.
Is the SWAT for us? What did we... Well, I know what we did on Earth.
What didn't we do?
That's really...
What did it do?
That's...
You are in a quarantine zone fighting things.
And someone just got
Right now.
bit, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we'll find out more next week. As an LSF squad is now presumably on your tail, and Choke is gonna get chest burster.
Alien.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Alien. Good session, guys. We will pick up here in 1 week to see where this turns out. Did anyone make any progress towards their personal quest?
Nah. Not really.
No, I don't think necessarily this time. Just fixing messes.
I'm just gonna once again say I did like the opposite of
Yeah,
mine.
I think you might have taken I might have to take XP away from you.
No!
Just kidding. Not gonna do that.
Well, next time though, some kind of drug, cure, poultice, potion, or remedy aids your recovery.
Maybe. It'll at least get you back to normal, where you were before.
It will help me not be an alien.
Yeah, before you had aliens in your blood. Okay, well.
Listen, I'm not mad about it.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Like I said, we'll be back in a week. You can tune in for all sorts of shows until then, including tomorrow. I'll be running a game of Overarms here called Saturday Night Star Power at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You can definitely tune in and enjoy that. We'll have other streams throughout the week, including this is an Elegant Suffering week, or an Elegant Magics week. So we'll be back on Thursday for that. Yeah. Anybody have anything they want to promote?
I have two
Before that.
premieres coming up this week in quick succession. On Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be on twitch.tv/lbhackemup, playing in a wonderful new all-ladies Dungeons & Dragons campaign called Playthings of the Gods. And I'm playing a centaur that really loves the stars. And then on Monday, we're having our first episode of Act 3. I'll be on twitch.tv/Colonomicon at 7 p.m. Eastern Time playing Monster of the Week. And in that one, I'm playing a big ol' goth. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Okay. That is where we're gonna, unless anybody else said anything. Or said no. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. And we will see you next time. And until then, good game and good night, Internet.